I'm sure most of your queries have got an answer during this discourse, but still, if you have some questions, you may please ask.
You're obviously talking about the world drama wheel, and that's what you talk. When you're talking about role play, that's of course there. I mean, when you talk of the karmic theory, but in the real world, I mean, in the world that we live, the big problem is that if we don't ask why me, that's fine. But what happens is that it's people around us and it's circumstances around us which ultimately always force us to ask these questions. Because it is people and the circumstances which are pushing us to that.
That's why I took up this talk, my dear. Because I see this around me all the time. That's exactly why I took up this talk. And when I took up this talk, I did mention that what I'm saying to you today in probably 50 minutes would take months to teach and years to understand.
Yeah, but how do we reach out to the people around us? I mean, we have to work on ourselves. But what happens is, for instance, I'll take a circumstance. I'm a journalist, and we see these circumstances every day. Lots of cases, lots of people, and people getting tortured, and people getting troubled. And somebody, of course, is right, and somebody is more wrong in the picture. And you find that justice is never done, and it's very difficult to explain to a person why this happened to that person, despite all the laws, despite everything. So, in that circumstance, people who are not oriented towards religion or towards spirituality, it's very difficult for them to, understand this why me theory. So, how can we help reach out to others? I mean, that's also something you could
Well,
answer.
it's all a process of understanding. I had these questions myself, and then when I heard and understood this, it made a lot of sense to me and it changed my attitude. So, when we are here to first change ourselves and understand it completely. So, once we are able to change and understand completely, then when a person is in a normal state of mind, you can only explain to that person at that time. But if he is going through some difficult circumstances, at that time he does not want to listen. And that's why we are here to listen and understand when we are in a normal state of mind. It's very difficult to explain to a mother who has lost a young son who's 18 years, right? She's lost her son. Even if it's 2 days or 3 days and you tell her it's her karma, she will not listen to you at that time. But if, like right now, a person is not going through any kind of tragic incident and you explain what the law of karma is, there are proofs, do you know, that they have recorded so many cases of people who remember their past lives. So it has been proved that there is rebirth. And according to what you do, what you sow, you reap is an accepted thing by everybody. So all these things, when we learn it right now, it helps us when we have to go through some incidents ourselves. So we have to learn how to teach us. And everybody knows today, you may not be a religious person or whatever, everybody knows that positive thinking helps. And negative thinking will always pull you down and make you suffer physically as well. Everybody knows that this is a normal thing. And spirituality gives you the answers. That's the only difference. When you want to think positive without this philosophy I talked to you about, it's very difficult because there are circumstances that completely bowl you over. So you have to have the roots. I went with the roots. Yes?
What is the way to go to the God? Is it, the karma, that what you do? Is it, sometimes, is it going to a temple that you reach out to God? Is it sitting with, people who are learned that you go out, reach out to God? What is the way? How do you teach this?
The first step, like any other subject, whether it's music, dance, anything, even ABCD that we learn, we go to a teacher, isn't it? So, with our own understanding, we take up the book of the Gita, the book of scripture, you'll not be able to understand. We need somebody to teach us, one who has experienced and knows the truths. And I will briefly tell you what the Gita is telling you, how you balance. The philosophy of the Gita is hands to work and mind to God. You do your duty in the world, and the mind has to be there. And how you put the mind over there, there's no hard and fast rule. See, that does not necessarily mean that you sit in the temple all day to do that. It may be anything. You may enjoy chanting. You may enjoy reading a book that keeps your mind on spiritual thoughts. So that is not important. The important part is your mind is there. And it comes only through practice. Because our mind is all the time in the world and we physically worship God. We ring the bell, we read a book, the mind is everywhere else excepting there. So the philosophy of the Gita is very simple. But it takes time to practice. And that's where we need help. So that's called karma yoga. Yoga means union of the mind to God, and karma is physical performance of duty. Anyway, my master's book, which is in English, Hindi, and many languages, about 8-10, Bengali, Uriya, Telugu, all are available. It's very important. He's given the gist, right from A to Z, what we need to know to even live in this world with a balanced mind. Of course, it takes you to the spiritual end as well. That's what we are here for as human beings. But even whilst we live in the world, if you have a correct understanding of life, it definitely gives you much more peace than ignorance makes you restless and unsettled.
Venerable, I really like your energy and your smile. Thank you for the discourse. I have a quick question and two comments. My quick question was how to develop this attitude to ask for suffering. Because I find that you gave this beautiful example of Kunti. I was really thinking that we're always blaming, and we become more bitter when suffering comes. It's not like we ask for it. So how to develop this attitude to ask for suffering?
I'll tell you a story of a great Sufi saint, Rabia. She was very, very sick, and some wise men went to visit her, and she asked them, what should be the attitude of a person towards suffering? One of them said that one should take it as a test. So she said, that smells of ego. That means you're ready to take a test from God. I'm so competent, I'm ready for that. That's ego. The second person said that we should take it as a grace. She said, yes, you're getting better. Then eventually, there was another answer. Finally, what she said, I'll get to that. She said, the person who has true belief and love for the Lord, that person is not even aware that he's suffering. He's so lost in that intoxication. So that's step by step how we go. There must be a lesson in this. That's how we start. Whatever we are going through, there must be. He wants to mold you. As I give you all those quotations, beautiful quotations, troubles are tools by which he fashions you. Like when there is friction, only then a diamond will shine. Without friction, you won't even wear that diamond. From the mind, if you look at it, those diamonds, they don't even look like diamonds. So everything which comes through friction, हिंदी में कहते हैं ठोकर से ठाकुर मिलते हैं. When we go through suffering, when you attain that, then you look upwards. When things are not satisfactory here, some people get bitter, as I said, and some people go there. Let me find an answer. Maybe I'll get it there. And all the scriptures, all the saints are telling you that Sab sukh lahe tumhari sharana. When you recite Hanuman Chalisa, you say Sankat mite. Then even the Guru Granth Sahib tells you, Yake sam nahi koi, jehi sumirat sankat mite. If you worship Lord Ram, take his name, Sankat mite, darasu tumharo hoy. So, gradually believing these truths will get you there someday. Yes.
Initially, we started with law of karma.
Yes.
Then you use the word punishment.
Yeah.
Like God is always blissful, right?
Yes.
That's what you said. Then subsequently you said punishment. So it's not going on.
It is. I told you this punishment is an overflowing of his compassion. If the mother did not scold her child for stealing the pencil, where would that boy be today? A thief. So whatever we go through is for molding us, for turning us. The name is punishment, But actually, it is grace. When you are scolded for doing something wrong, the mother is being merciful. For the child, it's a punishment. I don't like this. Why did my mother scold me? Why did she not give me food today because I did something wrong? For the child, it's a punishment, but the mother knows it's a grace.